welcome to Big Sister. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I just wanted to come on here and do a brief video as briefly as I possibly can because I'm trying to make shorter videos like I used to do in the beginning on dating do's and don'ts from one female to another. Now, everyone's different, cultures are different, backgrounds are different, so I keep that in mind. So if you feel like this doesn't apply, then just ignore it. It's subjective as well because people have things that they may think is okay that I may think is not okay. All right? So that's my spiel. So what would that look like? Well, I would say, first of all, ladies, when you go on a date, you don't want to go on the date already disclosing and divulging too much about yourself. You also, and what do I mean by that? You keep things basic. You don't want to go in too much debt of childhood traumas if you've had anything, family secrets if there are any, family conflicts. This is not what you do. You don't go into your dating history if you have one because you're just getting to know this person. It does not mean you're secretive, but at the same time, you have to think you're just going out with this person. You don't want to sit here and disclose all this information to someone you don't even know if it's going to work out. And let's be honest, no one wants to be out with a wet blanket. So keep those stories out. So I think the conversation should remain lighthearted. This is where you're going to have to pull from yourself in terms of being able to have a conversation and just talking about things in general and just enjoying each other's company and finding those commonalities that you have with that individuals to talk about, as well as just going as the evening flows, enjoying one another. The other thing that I would say is don't question him too much either. You're asking him about his past, who he's been with, how long he dated. That's really none of your business coming straight out the gate at him like that. He also has to get to know you. He is not obligated to sit there and tell you those type of things. Over time, believe me, you're going to find out. And what you need to do is just understand not to put your eggs in this basket, not to be already willing to invest your time and emotions into someone that you are not being willing to invest your emotion and put too much into someone that you are just getting to know them. As you get to know each other, then you will realize if you guys can actually talk about certain things. And I'll do another video on that, on why I think maybe you still need to have a balance and some discretion. Dress the part, ladies. Don't go on a date looking too comfortable. And at the same time, you don't want to go there looking too suggestive. I think when you're talking with someone, you can get an idea of the type of person that individual is. And you go and you wear something that suits you. It's not too comfortable. Don't go there in leggings and a top. Don't go there in a bonnet. Don't go there in dirty shoes like you didn't try. You need to make an effort to make yourself look presentable for a date. And at the same time, I also believe that you shouldn't go there being too suggestive, too much cleavage, because now you want him to focus on you, but he's looking at the butt on your chest. Okay? So really try to find something that compliments you, looks nice, but you're not too suggestive and you're not too plain. I also say don't wear too much makeup. This is just a personal thing for me, not wearing too much makeup. And the reason why I say that is a lot of times people go in with the cake mix on the face. You're not your natural self. And as you can see, looking at these videos online, you see people are able to transform. They literally look like the wicked hag with the bump on her chin that gave Snow White the apple in the Disney movie. And then she puts on this makeup and she looks completely different. I say if someone's going to like you, you want to have your natural face. It means you can still wear some light makeup, but it should accentuate your natural beauty and not cover it up where, right now you're looking wonderful. And then when he actually starts to date you, you're looking like, Winston Churchill. Uh, Another thing that I will say is when you're going out on a date, don't try to eat him out of house and home. Do not be fussy about where you're going to go to eat. You take everything as a learning experience or you learning about that man. So I see a lot of people, I don't do cheesecake factories, I don't do this and that. And I will say, unless you've come from a family where that is how you were raised and that is how you treat yourself, then you should not make these demands of these guys. Because, in my opinion, you are simply perpetrating. Okay? So we'll be talking about that. I know some of you may not agree with that. You just might not agree with that. And that's okay. But that's just what I believe. Of course, no, you don't want him to take you to some hole in the wall somewhere, a dirty spot, as if he didn't make any effort. But a simple restaurant, a mom and pop restaurant, or something like that. Or if he just wants to keep a simple date with you, a coffee date, guys, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to understand when you're first meeting a person, you're vetting them, you're meeting them, and you have to know if they're worth it. And I'm sorry, you cannot just be uh, so into yourself to believe, oh, I'm worth it. Oh, I'm this and I'm that. Well, if you're this and that, why are you still single dating? Okay? Doesn't matter. Guys have dated you before, but they didn't stay with you. So I'm not telling you to think low of yourself, but don't be demanding like that because the truth is, most of the females who are behaving in this way, they don't eat that way. They don't spend that kind of money on themselves. They are just hungry. They want the man to spend that type of money because this is an opportunity to get a decent meal that they normally would not have. You have to understand that sometimes, guys, some people, they're on a budget too. And just because the guy is on a budget doesn't mean that he's a bad person. At the same time, there are men who are wealthy and they are well off, but they're testing your character. They're trying to see what kind of person you are. How do you behave if we just go to a regular place? If you're sitting and you're getting ugly and goosenecking about where you're eating, something that you're literally going to pass and defecate in a couple hours, then it does say a lot about you. Okay? So we'll just leave that there. We can agree to disagree. What is another thing that I would say? I said don't divulge too much about yourself, don't reveal too much about yourself. I think people, when you're dating or you're going out on a date, just keep it lighthearted. Sometimes people are asking too many deep questions and making it all about nothing. If I don't know you, I don't need to invest in you all the way like that. I'm just getting to know you. It really should be simple and you see what a person's goals are and what are your dreams, what are your goals, what do you like to do, and you don't judge them. You can decide at that moment whether or not you're going to see them again or not, but you can still be polite and just end the date there. Dating do's and don't, I would say if it's possible, drive your own car. I would not suggest getting in a car with someone that you just met or you're just getting to know. Do that. I would suggest going on dates at that's not too late and you can get home at a decent time. And I will also suggest not drinking and getting drunk and where you begin to act yourself. Because people think that if they drink and they behave poorly that oh, it was the alcohol. No. All alcohol does, it just removes the inhibitions, those things that you have in place to hide the hyena, if that is your nature. So when you get drunk, you get relaxed, but who you are at the core comes out because there are people who get drunk and they don't act like that. All right? Uh, so have fun. enjoy yourself, keep it lighthearted, and go home. There's no reason to go back to their house or he go back to your house. Just call the night good night, and that's it. I think that's a good date. All right. Now it's funny because I was just talking with somebody about what is dating. And a lot of times people invest so much, they are serial daters and they're dating all these different people. And then, you know what? Let's keep that for another video. We're going to talk about what is dating, what it should or shouldn't be. Okay. And it is, of course, my opinion. For guys, as I said before, I cannot tell you what to do and how to do it because I'm not a female. I know nothing about what your experiences are truly or what it is to walk in your shoes. I may have some idea of the things that you may face, but I do not know what that is like and all the things you have to do as a male in this world and in the dating scene. But I would tell you something that's not okay is coming on a date and trying to talk about sex. Coming on a date and asking, I'm sorry, going on a date and asking for pictures, suggestive pictures, or suggesting the person take pictures. Going on a date and thinking, well, I got you something to eat, so you need to give me something. I find that to be poor form. I don't think you should be taking someone out. What you gonna do for me? I feel that is almost lowbrow, and I think it's classless. Oh, I forgot to add foul language, where every other word is a F bomb. So I believe dating, as I said before, should be something where you should be dating with a purpose. If you're just a person, you're just dating just to date. I suppose some people do that, but then you shouldn't have too many high expectations if you're dating just to date. But when you're dating with a purpose for marriage, companionship, longevity, then of course you're going to take your time and then you will vet a person. And it's not going to be interrogating them and asking them all these different things because, again, that stuff will come in time. It's going to come in time. You get to know one another. But the key is not to be investing and putting too much money and all the stuff into somebody that you're just getting to know. I think this is where people often feel shafted. Well, I spent all this money. Don't spend a lot of money. Keep the date simple. Keep it where you just meet somewhere and all you pick up are some coffees or a snow cone. That may sound corny to people, but it keeps it simple and no one feels obligated and no one feels shafted. No one feels like, oh, well, I have to sleep with this person because they bought me a $450 four-course meal. Well, four-course meals are a lot more than that. But that's all I'm saying. I think being too aggressive, that is a turnoff to women. Talking about sex, we discussed that as well. And then what is the other thing I want to talk about? Just coming on and licking your lips. Guys who like licking their lips or showing off too much, being too flashy, talking about your money, talking about your cars, talking about yourself too much. That can be a turnoff. I think a good date is really keeping all your accolades and all your accomplishments to the background and getting to know the person, listening, not divulging too much about, well, what you want in a woman, because again, that woman can pretend to be what she thinks you want and vice versa. Asking those, what do you look for a man questions, I think is very cliche and it's just corny. What you look for in a man, you either are that or you're not that. And you're going to know that as you get to know the person. And getting to know the person without feeling shafted is where things are kept very neutral and on a platonic level. You're not having sex with one another. You're not spending a lot of money on that person. You are just meeting in neutral places, maybe even in groups, not going out of town together, spending money on each other. I think when you do things like that, It keeps everything safe. You don't feel like you've been played, and you're going to be able to fish out who the genuine ones are versus ones who are like, oh, you're not spending any money on me, you're not giving this to me, right? And women, you'll be able to fish out men who have ulterior motives, who want to give you all these things but also make demands. I think we've definitely lost the purpose of dating and taken out the purity of it, the fun of it, the lightheartedness of it. And I think it has a lot to do with society and the way things are going on, and a lot of ways things are on television. And then it should be, we go on a date, and then I come to your house, and then I get some, and then I call you maybe in the morning, or don't call you, or ghost you for a while. And then there's this toxic way people date, and I think it causes a lot of problems and leaves a trail of broken hearts. So that is my opinion on it, ladies. Things that you can do, the do's and the don'ts, and then a little bit of tip for the guys. There is a lot more. If there are tips that you can think of, please feel free to comment below on it. If there are things that you don't agree with on me, with what I said, please leave that as well. Just keep it respectful. Thanks. Bye.